Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Immigration. Today is November the 19th, Wednesday, 2025. Um, and I'm excited that you're here joining me. Um, if you have any questions today, be sure to put them in the comments and I'll get to them as I can. Um, First, I want to tell you about what a great weekend I had. I was a panelist at the Iranian American Bar Association's National Summit in San Francisco. Um, and I got to meet many great Iranian American attorneys and also advocates that are in that group. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful um, seminar. Um, a great time. Great time. To show what a great time, look at this picture. Look at how happy I am. That's probably the best photo of me taken this year. Obviously, look, this is me, but look, that photo, I'm like happy. It's amazing. But great people on this panel, not just out of the frame, was Rujen, but this is who's a San Francisco attorney. It's really good. And then that's Gomez with Muslim advocates there to the left, and of course Mosca Kanbabi, who's a great immigration attorney in Boston. So anyway, I just want to tell you all, I had a great weekend. I don't know about you, but I had a great weekend in San Francisco, talking about issues important to me. So let's skip on to the news. There's some dark stuff going on. Last Wednesday, this article was published. Looks like Friday it was published, but it was about what happened on Wednesday, where people were going to their green card interviews in San Diego for adjustment of status. And the USCIS officer contacted ICE, and they left with ICE instead. Instead of leaving with a green card, they left with ICE. That's a little spooky. It's probably a good chance that there were problems with each of those cases, but it's just a good reminder that you do not want to attend an interview with USCIS without representation because you want your rights protected. Okay. I actually attended a USCIS interview at the same location there on Front Street on Monday, and an activist told me that on Monday, as of like 3 o'clock, it had happened to 4 more people. So, showing up at a USCIS interview without an attorney right now, or even with an attorney, if you've got a problem application, just could lead to some bad consequences. So let's not forget about that. Let's skip to Ready Go Law, our law firm, and what we're doing. Right now, we are onboarding a group lawsuit for Iranian employment-based applicants who are stuck in administrative processing. The case prospectus is on our website. I made a little video in English. There's also a video in Farsi. The deadline to participate in this lawsuit is next Wednesday, November 26, 2025. Do not come to me a couple weeks after that and say, oh, I want to participate in an EBAP mandamus lawsuit. I mean, like, this is the window. We probably will not offer a lawsuit like this again that challenges both the unreasonable delays for employment-based visa applicants, Iranian employment-based visa applicants, and the travel ban in the same lawsuit. The filing date for this complaint will be about December 5th, 2025. This lawsuit is for people who have already had an interview prior to June 8th, 2025. That's because we want everybody to have an unreasonable delay in getting an answer on their visa application to be participants in this lawsuit. The most important disclosure I have is that the ideal participants in this lawsuit would also be members of religious or ethnic minorities of Iran, because in that scenario, even if we lose on our non-delegation and separation of powers argument for the travel ban, if we win on the delays being unreasonable and the judge um, um, compels the government to speed up the adjudications, or the government decides to speed them up to moot the lawsuit to make it go away, um, these visa applicants are eligible. If you're a member of a religious or ethnic minority, you're eligible for an exception of Proclamation 10949. So that's the ideal participants, but we are welcoming people to participate that are not members of religious minorities. Just understand there's a less of a chance that the lawsuit will benefit you, um, as opposed to if you were a ethnic or religious minority member. Okay. I'm getting a lot of people coming to me, by the way, scheduling consults for me to determine whether or not they're a member of a ethnic or religious minority. Generally, if you're a member of an ethnic or religious minority, you know that you are, and that you say that you are. Like Iranian marriage certificates have religion on there. You would have listed your religion. Um, Sometimes your parents' birth certificates list an ethnicity if it's in a certain place. Um, you know what religion you practice. You've got photos of you doing participating in the things that are in your culture, so you know what ethnicity you are and you know what religion you are. And don't ask me to determine that. I'm not going to be able to. If you publicly have identified as that throughout your life, though, or privately, if you identify as that ethnic or religious minority, you probably have a good chance at one of those exceptions. The thing is, the consular officer will want to see any ways that you can support, I think the words corroborate, um, that claim to membership. So I realize it's a stressful situation because they have only released limited guidance on how that exception is being implemented. But just I can't do magic. I can't tell you if you were a member of a religious or ethnic minority. Okay. Um, what else are we talking about here? Um, I like to always check in on U.S. visa news because that's where they usually publish some crazy stuff that's going on. But nothing's happened there since November 5th. Okay. Um, in our lawsuit Fine versus Trump that challenges the travel ban on behalf of DV selectees, there's proceedings going on at the district court level and there's proceedings going on at the appeals court level. The appeals court expedited the briefing schedule of the appeal to where our opening brief is actually due on Friday. And also, the district court had ordered back in October for the government to file a response to a couple of her questions 7 days after the government was funded. And that just happened. So they filed that today. I'm getting ready to share it with the Fine plaintiffs. And so we've got 5 days to file a reply to that, which will be on Monday. So things are moving forward in both the district court level and the appeals court level in the Fine lawsuit. We have other lawsuits challenging the travel ban in Massachusetts and DC and the Central District of California. And I think I've got one in the Northern District of California, actually. And so, but one more, the employment based, that's the next one we're filing. And I shared with you the schedule on that. Oh, interest list. I need to tell you about our interest list. Ready to Law has interest list. What an interest list is, it's a chance for you to let us know what kind of lawsuit you're waiting on, group lawsuits, because that's what we like to do. And that way we will be able to gauge demand, and also we can notify you when we're ready to move forward. More and then interest list. So this interest list shouldn't be up right now. So we're going to take that down because we're onboarding that group lawsuit right now. So that shouldn't be there. But there's two group lawsuits that we have in the future plan. One is a group for IR5 AP. These are people barely subject to the travel ban because IR5 is an exception as long as they have proof of familial relationships, like usually photos, but hopefully they don't have to do DNA. So we're going to do an IR5 group lawsuit for families that can't afford individual mandamus lawsuit. So that's the interest list for that. And then there's an interest list here for DV 2026 selectees that are subject to the travel ban. That list is starting to grow. We don't jump into DV litigation until people are actually facing delays and we have a critical mass, a number of plaintiffs willing to participate that will allow us to share the burden of the cost of the litigation to where it's affordable for many people. Okay. One person doing a lawsuit challenging an unlawful policy is very expensive, but if you have other people joining together in what we call a joinder action, it makes it more affordable. It democratizes access to federal litigation. That's what we like to do, democratize access to federal litigation. Okay. One more thing I want to talk about, and that is Governor Abbott in Texas. For some of you that are in Texas, I was going to say Governor Abbott declared CAIR and Muslim Brotherhood terrorist organizations, which means that those organizations and the people affiliated with them are not supposed to buy land in Texas now, and there could be other consequences as well. I'm alarmed by this because CAIR is an organization that I've worked with before, I've represented before in litigation, and they stand up for Muslim families, immigrants, in a way that few organizations in this country do. There's probably only a handful of organizations that do what they do. And I think that this is motivated by CAIR's campaign to call attention to Israel's genocide in Gaza. This is a way for them to try to silence CAIR. And Governor Abbott, if you're listening, if you're watching, you're just a puppet. And that's pretty embarrassing. And you should be putting America first and not Israel first. That's my point of view on that. It's my live. I get to share my point of view. Okay. So I don't see any questions, so I'm going to wrap up here. If you have any questions, you know that we give free consults. You just go to our website, readygolaw.com. Look at that, readygolaw.com. And there's a place that says contact us, and you can book a consult there, 30-minute consult. We're not going to use the whole 30 minutes if I determine within a few minutes, the solution to your problem. So get with us that way. You can also, you could try to call me, but not always able to answer the phone. So if I don't answer, don't leave a voicemail. I'm not good at voicemail. Send me a text. I'll answer that way. Okay. Have a great week. I will see you next Wednesday.